Apostle Charlotte Hill, and I've been in Rockdale County all of my life.
I'm Bishop Ernest Hill. I'm a native of Rockdale County. I've been here 63 years. I was growing up in the Milster community and spending some of the summers with my grandfather at an early age. I had the opportunity to ride to Old Town Conyers every Saturday. At the time, he lived right there where the Home Depot is. So we ride up Green Street to Old Town. That's where he did all the shopping. And I enjoyed that. All the stores, that was the only place you could shop, but that's where all the stores were. I'd have to stay in the car no matter how hot it was, but I still got a chance to look around. And I can remember some of the things that are of the past, like the old courthouse annex had segregated restrooms, and Club 901 on Center Street, I think it had a segregated water fountain. And I remember this as a young man, as a young boy. And as I grew older, I didn't understand that statue at the courthouse. But as I grew older, I come to recognize what it stood for, and it was a symbol of the past. And we have to move forward in this time. And I was glad that they kind of moved that statue. And our representatives here saw that there was a need for that. And it was what it symbolized. It doesn't fit the time that we live in now. Because that symbolized the time of the past, and we got to move forward. With Rockdale County being a more progressive county in the state, we got to set the tone for the rest of the county. And I think with the great leadership that we have here now, we're moving forward. Back then, we knew everybody in the county, black or white. There was only about 10,000 people in the county in the early 60s, so you knew everybody. And like I said, growing up in the Milster community, it was a little different than growing up in the city limits, because we considered that country back then. But we had other than some of the memories of the past, all in all, I think we had a pretty good time here in Rockdale County. Everybody got along. And as we moved into the 80s and 90s, and even now, things are looking up. Turn it over to my wife.
I'm Apostle Charlotte Hill, and I was born and raised right here in Rockdale County, and have always been here in Rockdale County. And it's just amazing to see the growth that we have made progress in moving forward here in Rockdale County. At times, when we were growing up, we felt like we got to just get out of this city. We just got to get out of this city. We need to go somewhere where we can grow. But to grow where you was born, it makes a lot of difference. It makes a lot of difference in your life. I never would have dreamed. I was born right on Hewlett Street when my grandmother raised us. And she raised us to have dignity. No matter what was going on, you were still somebody. And that was the way I was raised. And when God called me out at 19, I did not accept, because I felt like this wasn't what I wanted to do. But when he convinced me on my sick bed that this is what he wanted me to do, and he would bring me up, I took the charge to be a pastor. I was the first black woman in Rockdale County to ever become an apostle. I was the first black woman in Rockdale County to ever build a church from the ground up. So I know Rockdale County is the county that I'm supposed to be in. And when God told me that he was going to take this church to a brand new level, that Rockdale County would be a beacon light in the state of Georgia, I knew then that I had a handful. But I enjoy everything that I do. Why? Because of the people that is in office in Rockdale County look beyond a fault, and they always seem to find a need. And I enjoy working here in Rockdale County with the officers of this place and the law of the land in this place, I enjoy this. Why? Because I am a part of the growth of Rockdale County. That's what I like about Rockdale. And this church has always been a beacon light and a safe haven to this county.
Well, the growth of the county, since we are the second smallest county in the state, the growth of the county is tremendous, and I think we've probably pretty much grown as we can right now. We can't expand the land, have a lot of building going on. We need jobs, sure, but I don't think we need to build. I'd like to see some of the building codes change where we don't build a cluster homes on, say, put 4 homes on a half an acre or something. I'd like to see that change, but other than that, Rockdale is home. And to me, there's no place like home. I've traveled the world in my military career, but there's no place like Rockdale County as far as I'm concerned. This is home. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
And I would like to change as far as the communities of worship, that we all stand together as a people that love the Lord and stop separating yourselves as different. We are all in the same. We all belong to the same Jesus. We all represent the same Jesus. I wish that we could all come together with all these different denominations. It does not matter about your denomination. It matters about what's in your heart. And if we could come together and work this thing together, this whole thing would just go over us. The pandemic would just go. Because we need prayer right now. We need churches right now that is willing to stand on what God has for us. If we stand, the court system will stand. And if the court system stands, the law of this land will stand. We have got to come together as one and stop separating ourselves like we better than anybody else. It don't take a big church to represent. It takes all of us to represent what's in our heart, to make sure that this city become the beacon light that God called it out to be. Johnson Park.
Okay.
Well, Johnson Park is one of them, and I've always known about Parks and Meal, and I'm glad they put a park out there. It's beautiful. We haven't had a chance to get out there yet. We rode around out there and took a look around, but we haven't had a chance to go out there and just walk around and see all of the beauty of nature out there. But it's a beautiful place out there, and we love that. And the horse park also. Not that I ride horses, but we like that.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I love Roots and Hoods. When God gave me that name, I was coming down 285. And he said, I shall bless you with a church. And the girl that was with me almost had a wreck when I told her. Pastor Flannery told me, it shall be called Loves and Hugs. He said, how I loved and hugged everybody. That's a kiddie ministry. He said, how can you serve my people if you don't love them? And if you love them, you ought to be able to hug them. And that's where we got the name, Loves and Hugs Christian Tabernacle. That's where we got it from. And this place is my journey. I've got to walk that walk, and I got to talk that talk. Whatever is in me, it's got to be what God wanted to be and not what man described me to be. That's how I love this church. And this church has brought a lot of good things to this city. And I thank God for that. I thank God for it.
Just a little bit of the history of where it started. Church started
at our
a
house.
few years ago, a few years before the church started, I pulled a slab, 20 by 20 slab, just to cook out on. But that evolved into prayer. We quit cooking out on the slab. And that was at 1680 McCollum Road. And it evolved into our prayer on Sunday evening, which evolved into the church. We actually started the services on Honey Creek. elementary school. Then we moved to Salem Road. We moved from Salem Road to Business Center Drive. We bought this property from the Walkers over here in 1999. People said that we weren't gonna build on it, we weren't gonna do anything with it. But it wasn't in man's plan, it was in God's plan.
Amen.
We're led by the Spirit, not by man. So we have to follow God and wait on God. When we lost the building on Business Center, the lady sold the building. We moved into the hotel over there. And it was like God had a woman in the wilderness, but he had a ram in the bush. He sent a realtor to us that sent us to a bank that financed the church. And that's how the church got here. And God said it would be a beacon light to this county. And everybody that stopped by here, they come by, then they'll come back. They say, well, I pass this church every Sunday. I just decided to come in to see what was going on. And they love it. The Spirit draws them to it. And like I said, we're led by the Spirit, not by man. And when you love God, God will take care of you.
Can I say one more thing? This church has always been a safe haven for people. One young guy was being ran after by some more people. And his mama asked him, he said they had a gun at him. And his mama asked him, well, where did you go? He told, I went to a church off of Klondike Road, and that church hadn't have been there, they probably would have killed me. He ran to Loves and Hugs and got in the...
And he hid behind the church.
He hid behind the church, and they walked off. That's what we do. We leave the love on the ground so people will know, no matter what you do, if you're in God's hand, he will take care of you. That's what we do. We're a church of healing and deliverance. And this is what this county needs.